Let's do a little music. Here's part two. Part two, baby. Yo, what's up, J-Cat? Come on up. The game night. Good morning. All right, guys. What's up? What is this? Ghost of New Orleans? What's up? This is good morning. Saturday morning. What is this in rare form, baby? Well, you know what? I was having my coffee. My son's playing Fortnite on my account. Wife's sleeping in. I'm like, you know what? I'm listening to the Crossfire. Shout out to Mooch. And you know, my gears start grinding. I'm like, I hear conversation. I'm like, almost like want to jump into the podcast and jump right in and start talking with those guys. And I'm like, they start thinking. I'm like, let me think. You know what? I got some more to say about the reveal because you think in the 2 hours I did in the previous one, I'm like, you know what? No, this goes deeper because and also from the Twitters that I've been seeing, just this stuff. That's right. We need some grease. The fire's burning. Oh, yeah, I'm going to put that part 2 after the part 2. It's the part 2 of the reveal stuff. But yeah, I got a couple more points I want to put out there. And just to kind of get out there from what I've been gathering and things like that. And, the fallout from this whole, showcase that, the PlayStation 5 reveal and what we're planning to see moving forward. So with that, guys, we're going to start this up. Welcome to What Grinds My Gears. Part 2, PS5 versus Xbox Series X reveals. Callie, what's up? Socrates, Paul, how you doing? Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. The Grindhouse is growing. Let's go. This is going to be a good one. I got some websites right here loaded up. Let's do this. All right. Yes, Mr. Twister, what's up? Yes. And that was a point I made in the last video. What's up, Jemiah? How you doing, man? I'm not done. Not done. Yo, yeah, I saw Big Jim Ryan, Gordon Ramsay. I saw what he said. Sony's not done. Okay? This is not it. Like I said that in the last show. Everybody's like, okay, well, Windows open now. Microsoft has a chance. They always had a chance. They just never, that's been my grind for the longest time, if you listen to me, is the missed and squandered opportunities that they had and never capitalized on it. That's the problem. That's what grinds my gears. That's what I come here to talk about. Missed opportunities. They have opportunities. Now it's like, oh, they got another one. Sony has more stuff to talk about. So this is going to be a battle, a one-handed slugfest, basically. Microsoft's going to have to counter everything. And they need to have the content now. The focus is on them now for content. They've talked up their whole game. We're going to go into this, the review. December, they show the console. They show Hellblade. Great launch. Great way to introduce the console. Then, they start talking about streaming, the 12 teraflops. Here's just all the tech of it. Okay, fine. Where are the games? Show the games to demonstrate the tech. No. Oh, but xCloud and let's talk about Xbox All Access. Let's talk about Xbox going on PC. Let's revamp the Xbox app. What's up to Floyd? Let's start revamping all the. Let's start talking and they're just like, where are the games? Let's show some games. So one of the things that that kind of made me think. And it was something that I don't know if I said it on a podcast. I might have said it to somebody offline. But this whole kind of pandemic thing that we were going into, right? This whole pandemic thing and how these companies were affected. And I was listening to Crossfire, and a lot of the guys were kind of talking about how Sony was prepared for this and Microsoft wasn't. And that could be like why Microsoft was caught off guard and that May 2020 wasn't great and and things like that. And now they're going to learn and they're going to come back. The thing is, everybody was affected by this. Okay? I will give the situation where Sony was kind of expecting not to go to E3. So maybe they were planning some digital events. So they had a leg up on that. Thank you, Glorious. Hit that slap, hit the like button. Yo, hit the subscribe button and hit the share button. Let's share this out. So they basically had they kind of knew that this was gonna be some sort of like a Nintendo Direct or a Nintendo Treehouse or something like that. So I do think the mentality of Sony to do this kind of video was there, and Microsoft didn't have that. Microsoft always wanted E3, that showcase, right? And when this whole thing started, and I think it was when they canceled E3. It was in May. It was in March. We're gonna have the article right here. Here we go. This right here. I think it was when E3 was canceled. So basically, in March 11th was when Phil's like, we're gonna have an all digital event. So this is kind of when they're like, guys, like, things are gonna change. Now, we know many times before where, remember Phil Spencer going big for E3 2019. Look at when it's date. Look at the date. January. So Microsoft starts planning for E3, right? And he says it right here. This was going to be a fun E3 for us. We had discussions internally. Should we go big? Should we save some money? No, we're going to do our thing and be big at E3. I love the opportunity. And remember, this is Microsoft kind of twisting because Sony wasn't going E3. Microsoft doubling down on E3. I feel really good about our plans. The content that we'll have will be great, and we'll talk about our future. We'll talk more about the Xbox brand means to us. We have millions of customers, and we see them on again. Jesus Christ, I didn't even realize the end part.
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
We have millions of Xbox customers. We see them on a phone or other devices. Jesus, I don't know why. Every time I try to find something, I forget. This guy just throws in the phone all the time. It's such a it's like we're focused on Xbox. Oh, and we see them on phones and PCs. It's like, shut up! Like, my God, Jesus, I talk enough of that thing. The whole point is that E3 it stopped playing in January. So when he had to change it in March, they had to now go to a digital format, right? So I remember saying this to somebody, going like, I think this whole pandemic thing and this whole E3 being canceled is definitely going to hurt Microsoft more than it will hurt Sony in the reveals, especially what they're going to do with the consoles. And I think that was, Microsoft didn't know this was going to happen, and they already launched their console. Like, they kind of revealed it in December, right? And I'm going to get into that, JCat. Yes. And I was like, they're not now. And what's going to happen is that actually their content is going to be front and center. Just like JCat says, it goes to show that Microsoft needs a stage performance with the lights and production in order to hype people up and disguise the fault that E3s are not very good. That is the nail on the friggin' head. That is the ultimate comment of the day. And that is exactly the point. The content now comes to the forefront because they don't have the dog and pony show, for lack of a better term. But they don't have the smoke, the mirrors, the fans screaming, Phil. And it's him surrounded and smiling. And it's nice for the community. But they don't, because if you recall, when he said he's going big in 2019, right? What was the biggest takeout from what? From that E3, right? What was it? What was the biggest thing out of that E3? Would you like me to show you what the biggest thing that came out of that E3 was? Go big or go home? I'm going to give you some mystery. Let's see if anybody can guess. He was going huge for E3. Do we know what it was? Guys, I'm going to show you right here that they were going big, right? I'm going to show you the big thing that happened at E3. What was it? It wasn't this. What was it?
Please welcome Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yeah. There it is. There it is. The biggest E3. Phil went big.
Yeah. All right. Good to see you. Thank you. All right. All right.
Exactly, Kev.
I got to talk to you about something.
He went big for
I
E3,
gotta
right?
talk to you about something.
Yeah.
CD Project Red. Cyberpunk 2077.
The meme.
All right. A while back, the guys from CD Projekt Red approached me and asked me to be a part of their new project, Cyberpunk 2077.
It's
They
pretty.
were going on and on about how they'd create this vast
Hey, look at him
open
reading his
world
prompter.
with a
But this
branching
was the big thing of
storyline.
E3, and this is
How you'd be
look at
able to
this, all the
customize your
screaming.
character through in-game choices.
As a person
And it's
watching
not something
this, you would think like, oh, something's going on. But like was Microsoft's kind of E3, and the fact that they were not doing this.
Cyberpunk is set in a metropolis of the future.
Yeah.
Where body
Now their
modification has
content
become an
comes to the
obsession.
forefront because
Play
now
as an outlaw,
it's
an
videos.
enhanced mercenary
Dude, like
working
now-
in the sleazy underbelly of the city.
you're breathtaking.
Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you,
Jesus, this is.
the feeling.
If it wasn't for the
of
you're
being
breathtaking,
there
Keanu Reeves was
walking
like,
the
what is he
streets
here
of the
for?
future is really going
He's
to be
nervous. You're
breathtaking.
breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
Phil gave him that Phil juice before he came on stage.
All right, all right, all
But-
right. So,
Like, so see this? Now you got. You went from that
And
thing.
unveiling gameplay from our studios starting in July. Gameplay.
Big surprise.
You went
big
from that
reveal.
to you're breathtaking.
I could not be more excited. I can tell you we're going to work every week between now and then to deliver for our fans. But today we're going to put the spotlight on
That's not
what
Keanu Reeves over there.
shine and show you what Xbox Series X gameplay looked like. Let's have a go.
That's not breathtaking. But it has hurt them for the for the reason I said the thing is that this puts even more emphasis on the content that they're going to show because they don't have that stage presence at E3. And this was the thing that was going on. So I definitely understand where Sony had an advantage in the reveal or the kind of E3 type thing. But the question I had, and actually it came up later on in the show, was nobody forced them to do this Xbox 2020 in May. Sony was quiet. Like, I don't know if they tried to just get a jump on them, but they had no gameplay. They had a lack of kind of showing here, and it actually hurt them. And the point is like they really didn't need to do this. And Phil said in March they were planning a digital event for E3. Like, they were planning a digital event. So we're going to come back to this one. So this is kind of on May 5th is basically when they decided to do this stuff. Because I think the biggest takeaway was Sony's presentation that was shown was really, really effective. There was a lot of money behind it. Glorious Kev's wanted to say Xbox has no games. Listen, they got games. They just got Phil Ness games. That's the thing. Like, yo, what's up, Cyber Dragon? Good morning. Like, they have games. See, Kev, I don't go running around going, Xbox has no games. I got Xbox has games that nobody wants to play. That's my line. Because they have games. Like, you got to be blind to see what they're doing. They obviously they need to have content for Game Pass. So they have games. The problem is the games that they have, and no matter if they're cartoon or graphically intense, which we don't really see, but the thing is like they have games. Like, I'm not gonna be that kind of fan. Oh, they don't have any games. Ah, they just don't have games that people want to play. That's the problem. They don't have games that people want to come onto your services, that want to come to your platform, that want to do that. See, I look at it from the outside looking in. I'm not in the bubble of an Xbox looking out. I'm on the outside looking in going, you guys are not doing a good job of luring people to your platform. Even if your platform is not the console, which that's unfortunate. But exactly, cartoons don't make it bad. Like, if you look at what Sony had, like, everybody's like, oh, cartoon games. That Ratchet and Clank, is that a cartoon game? But look, that looked like that was the game of the show. If it wasn't for Horizon 2. What was going on in that Ratchet and Clank game, and not even just the riffs, but just the amount of destruction and chaos on the screen and physics and sound effects, and it looked insane. And that's how it's a cartoon game. Like, it's not heads ripping off. It's just the problem is that Sony is shopping at Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse, and Microsoft is shopping at Burger King. Two different tiers of games. They have games. It's just that the games that Microsoft have, not only, not to say that they're bad all the time, even though Metacritic will kind of show you that their first party really hasn't had much quality to it besides the tentpole game Gears. But everything else has been kind of like just, ugh. Crackdown, they basically destroyed the franchise. But I want to get back to what the Xbox 2020 is, but it goes to the games. Microsoft now has a job to do in showing you that you want to play these games. And it's funny because I was listening to Giant Bombcast last night, and I was watching their talk over of it. And, those guys can be definitely very kind of cynical, goofy, things like that. But there was genuine excitement for a lot of the content that was shown. And that's how you do that. Hey, Stardust, how you doing? That's what you do. People weren't like, nobody was like, oh, it's Ratchet and Clank, I'll play it in Game Pass. Or, hey, it's Ratchet and Clank, whatever. When people saw that game and the gameplay, there was nobody talking about it. There was no talking head going like, well, this, and this. Hope to see show more later. Like, he talked about it and then showed gameplay. And from the gameplay, people were drawn to say, I want to play that. And that's the effect of gameplay. Like, you could see yourself with the controller running around in that Ratchet world, playing that, Ratchet and Clank's world. And you want to be there. You want to play that. Same thing with Horizon. You want to play that. Spider-Man, you want to play that. These are games that you want to play. That's why I get really grinds my gears when Microsoft has a show like this, Xbox 2020, and people are like, oh, it's coming to Game Pass, good. I wasn't really interested in the game, but it's coming to Game Pass. Oh, it's going to be in for $1, It's going to be for $1. It's going to be in Game Pass. Like, hey, that's the mentality shift that I don't approve of. Like, I don't like that. And I don't know how that became to be, but it is definitely getting its MO. Like, that's kind of its thing. It's the graveyard of games. Dollar Tree Gaming, as Glorious Kev says. Like, it is Dollar Tree Gaming. And actually, you want to know what? Steam sales is so much better than Game Pass because you're actually getting like decent games, right? So that's not even a knock on Steam sales. Hey, what's up, guys? Code, how you doing? The thing is like, they got to make games that people want to play. But every time they had an event, XO19, you see the comments of like, oh, well, they're just getting it out of the way. It's an indie showcase. Oh, that's so nice. They're putting games in Game Pass. Like, it's always a nice and this. But then Sony has a show where they show why you need to go to next generation. And it's like, well, I'm not really impressed. There's really nothing in there that can't be done on current gen. And it's like, whoa, where do those standards go, everybody? Like, where do those stand? Like, what? Excuse me? And everybody keeps saying wait till July. So, since we're going to talk about the July, because that's kind of Microsoft's rebuttal to the PlayStation reveal, it's been so impactful. The amount of viewers, the amount of heads that were turned by the PlayStation event. Like, my brother doesn't even watch video games. He's like, did you see the PlayStation? I'm like, what? You watched it? You heard it? He goes, I saw it on the news. That looked crazy. They did their job. Now, everybody's saying, well, Microsoft really didn't have their E3. Microsoft has, I don't think, and again, if I'm wrong, hey, guess what? If I'm wrong, and this is what people are like, well, what you complain? You know what? If I'm wrong, that means they did better. Right? Like, that's the thing. Like, if I'm wrong, they've done better. But I only could comment on what is being shown, not in the last month, but what we have seen from them for the last 2.5, 3 years. Ever since Gears 4 came out and they canceled Scalebound, and it's been a downhill slope since 2016, 2017. Like, that whole time point there, it has been bad. And excuses after excuses. They're going to PC. They're doing this. It's about PC gaming. It's about mobile gaming. It's about cloud. It just got really, really shady and weird. And people all over the place. The point is, this is their E3. Xbox 2020. Right? They said this. But now this is because of the pandemic and everything going on. So this was definitely a paradigm shift. But you could see, they used E3 a lot for smoke and mirrors, as JCat said. And even with that show, when people go and what was shown in that E3, it's very forgettable, that E3. That was when he said, we're going big. We have a lot to show. This is huge. And what he did is he used a lot of third-party games that were coming to there was no even timed exclusivity or timed content. It was just like, oh yeah, this game. Okay, well, like, what did he show at that E3? Did I even have, like, what did he even show at that E3? Go back to E3.
I gotta finish this, so tell me.
Yeah, like, Xbox. Yeah, like Xbox E3. Like, what did they show in it? They showed Bleeding Edge, which was shown. But again, it was Keanu Reeves. It was cars on stage. It was. Oh, don't you remember they opened up the stage, and they had the wrestlers playing the game. It was a disaster. It was a smoke and mirrors show, and that's what everybody said. And actually, that's one of my most watched videos. To do a shameless plug, like, that is I think it was one of my most watched videos, was my reaction to, wait a second. Oh, dang, I got another subscriber. Thank you very much. But I think that was my, one of my, yeah. Up there, right? What grinds my gears? You're not going to like what I'm going to say. This was my video right after that E3. And I basically was saying, like, and there it is. It was all basically a dog and pony show. That's what it was. It was all smoke and mirrors. They opened up the stage and Rod Ferguson came out, and it was like, so they're missing that right now. They would have had that this week. But that's another thing, that it's like, going back on that the reveal, it's like, he's talking about E3 in January. They kind of know what they want to show, especially from their first party, right? Like, they kind of have an idea what their first party's working on. Like, yes, they can't control third party, but their first party, they should definitely have a handle of what is being worked on, what the timelines are. And you would assume that they're targeting E3 since Phil emphasizes their presence at E3 so much, which brings me to kind of like, how do you mess up right now? I understand you got to have a paradigm shift. And I think this was the kind of Mooch was talking about. I was like, I understand you got to shift your thought. You know, you're going to host a wedding, but now you're going to have to, like, you know, turn it into a buffet. So basically, and I'm not talking about their dependence on third party. You know, that might be unreliable, but your first party showing, it is definitely kind of strange that they're going to have it in July when they were all planning up for June, right? And also, nobody forced them to have this May event. So, like, when they did this May 5th, right? This is what it says. This is their kind of goals. We remain to launch the Series X and Halo Infinite. All 15 game studios are hard at work. Now, just watch. The thing is now we're talking about software. Phil was very, we're going to be bold, right? We're going to be bold about the Xbox Series X. We were told to go bold, be bold. So he already talked his console. He already showed Hellblade trailer. He already talked about the specs, flew out Digital Foundry, let them play Legos and put them together. Detailed the whole thing. Like, they were bold. They got all the cat out of the bag with all the hardware, right? But now it comes when the rubber hits the road. The games, the things that people have been asking for 3 years. Where are the new games? Where are the games that we want to play? And when they had their first opportunity to show people what next gen games that people should get excited about, they failed. They failed. And exactly, Captain Crunch, they could build all the hardware they want. They could have Lockhart 2, Xbox One X, X Series X without the disc, with the drive. They could build all the hardware they want and slap it out there and throw it on store shelves. But nobody's going to buy that hardware if you don't have the software. And that's going to get me into my second point. My thing is about them not being prepared and them shifting, right? Of course, this pandemic affected everybody. And people are like, well, Sony was ready because Sony was supposed to have Last of Us 2 playable demo at PAX East, which they canceled. They pulled out of PAX East. I was there. Sony was not there at all. They were going to have a Last of Us 2 demo. Think about how many people go to PAX East and would have hands-on with Last of Us 2. In what? It was the end of March. Right before this whole thing. It was right at it was end of February, beginning of March. Last weekend in February. You were able to play Last of Us 2 at the end of February at PAX East. Now, did they use it as an excuse because it wasn't ready? And attend 100 events, right? Yeah, exactly. They were supposed to have 100 events, right? They were going to go to PAX East, all the PAXs. They were going to have Gamescom. So to say that they weren't affected by this stuff, they just weren't going to E3, right? They just weren't going to E3. Now, I granted that they probably had a better digital structure prepared and ready to go, like ready to kind of plan a digital showcase. But we're talking about that the reason why May 2020 was a disaster and July is because Microsoft is flooding around because they were affected by this really bad. Phil said in March that they're doing a digital event. They're a goddamn $1 trillion company, and they create PowerPoint. They have Skype. They have LinkedIn. They have webcams. Like, they got Surfaces. They got all that laptop. They got all the stuff to host a show. Right? They make it. God damn it. They make it. Like, they make all the stuff to do conferences and demonstrations. Like, I'm not saying it's easy, but they make the stuff and the software it all runs on to have a show. The problem that they're having now is they don't have what Jake had said. They don't have the fluff. Where's the fluffer? They don't have the fluff. And the fluff was the stuff that people cringed at. The fluff was the stuff that said, get this out of the way. Major Nelson sitting there on a little high top chair or with gloves on with his studio and people talking heads and tell me about the game. All that stuff is gone. His Major Nelson studio, the fans in the front, the smoke and mirrors. Now it's about the content. The content comes up to the forefront and they pander away and cannot handle it. And I think it's pretty interesting to say because, just for the grinders out here, you get the good stuff. I don't know how July is going to be any different than May, right? Because people think that July's event is going to be like what Sony did. Oh, they're going to have like that. I'm going to tell you right now, Sony's production of what they had, Microsoft is not going to have that. Okay? Xbox 2020 is an inside Xbox. Okay? Maybe they do it in Major Nelson's studio, but it's an inside Xbox. And their plan for this, and this is again, unless they pivot. If they pivot and they change it up because of what Sony showed, hey, that's great. But if they don't, which I don't know if they're going to, because they kind of specify here, starting May 7th, episode of Inside Xbox will be showcasing what happens in the world of Xbox every month. Now, where's the June one? Because this was May 7th. We are now at June 13th and don't know anything, right? So this is basically a rebranding of Inside Xbox. And he says the world of Xbox every month, which is why we're calling it Xbox 2020. Now, maybe on Monday, they'll announce their plans to, for their June event. But if you listen to Greenberg, again, he just says we're still doing our July event. And then he said June was going to be different. Well, they never announced June. So unless they're being coy and June is going to be some sort of sly kind of presentation, again, remember in his apology, Greenberg said, if we didn't say anything, that was the thing with Greenberg's apology, with the May 7th inside Xbox hashtag, Xbox 2020 was had we not said anything, I think the reception would have been different. And what do you mean, DeFloyd? Got bad feeling about today. What's wrong, DeFloyd? Yeah, it's Mark. How you doing? But he said, had we not said anything, he didn't say, "Oh, we will show more gameplay, or we will take back the fear and show more game." Yes, the gameplay was lacking. No, he said, had we not said anything, I think the reception would have been different. Those were his line was, had we not said anything. So basically what you're saying is that you are just going to basically stealth announce or stealth drop Xbox 2020. You're not going to hype it because the hype actually came back to bite you in the ass. That doesn't sound like somebody who's going to learn from their mistakes. That sounds like somebody that opened their mouth too early and realized they got to tone it down because they set wrong expectations. The issue was not that you hyped it. It's the fact is that you didn't deliver on that hype. So your resolution is that you're just not going to hype it now? And that's going to fix it? So what? Temper expectations? Did Sony not hype their event at all? And nonetheless, supposedly your first party's going to be there. Are you not going to hype it? Because it might backfire. So had we not said anything? See, that's not the feedback. But the other thing in this is that these monthly moments, this is right here. These monthly moments will take place throughout the rest of the year and will be a way for us to engage, connect, and celebrate with you about what's in store for the next generation of gaming. Now, remember, next generation of gaming. Did Sony talk about anything about PlayStation Now? Anything about PSN? Anything about PC? Anything about phones? Anything about cloud? No. But let's see what Xbox 2020 is about. What's next for Xbox Series X? That's where it should stop, right there. It should stop actually right here. Xbox Series X and Xbox Game Studios. That's what people want. All right? The people all over Twitter, the people that are expecting this July event so much, that's where it needs to stop. Xbox 2020 should be about the Xbox Series X and Xbox Game Studios. But it's going to be about Game Pass and xCloud. And that's where it's going to be a little misleading because you're going to tune in thinking you can get more news about the console, and they're going to be talking about Project xCloud on your phone. And it says every month we will bring something different. We'll bring something different. So they talked about the multiplayer. So this month is going to be something different. So I think this month is probably going to, I think they plan to do Lockhart. And they said that there was a rumor. So it says right here in May. For Xbox 2020 in May, here, this is where the start of this happened. We will focus on giving you a first look of next-gen gameplay, trailers, and a sneak peeks from a wide variety of publishing partners and independent developers across the globe and industry, including Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And then people labeled this as their third-party showcase. And that's right, Kev. I had that in my last thing, where his quote was, "Enough of me. Enough from me. Let's the games do the talking." Socrates, exactly. So when's the next Inside Xbox? Well, according to Greenberg, it's July, their first-party show, right? So people are like, well, their first-party showcase is going to be incredible. And they actually said it right here. There you go. Socrates, I'll answer that for you. In July, so first off, I don't know, and this is where Greenberg had to come in, because everybody was like, all right, well, May is this third-party showcase, and now you state July, we will dedicate time focused on the games coming from Xbox Studios. And everybody's like, well, what about June? And he's like, June's going to be done differently. They skipped a month. Exactly. And then when Greenberg, because when people still read this, they go, well, Aaron, what happened to June? And then he's like, June will be done differently. Then when the rumor came out that June was moved to August, Greenberg goes, no, we're still on track for July. What about June? And that's why everybody threw that tweet at him. He never responded. But then they wrote, in July, we will, but everybody's talking about July is going to compete with what Sony revealed on the PlayStation 5 on Thursday. In July, we will dedicate time to focus on the incredible games coming from Game Studios. A number of our studio teams are looking forward to sharing first looks at new gameplay, insights. No. Yes. All right. First looks at new gameplay, insights from the development teams being optimized for Series X. So do you know what that means, right? You know what this means, right? You know what this means, right? Somebody in the chat, please tell me what this means. What does this mean? I'm going to play you what I know it means. Or what I think it means. What is this? You know exactly what this means. Come on, somebody, grinders, tell me. What does that mean? What do you mean they're going to show in July from their first-party studios? Not that it's running on PC, D. No, good try. What do we think that this means? I'm going to give you tramp stamps. Little Daddy, yo, shout out Little Daddy. It runs on all devices. Tramp stamps, yes, we got tramp stamps. Oh, can't see it? Sorry, Captain Crunch. Xbox One games, Guyver hit it on the head. Do you know exactly what it is? You guys are all saying it. Cross-gen games? Yes, Samantha, how you doing? That's exactly what it is. Insights from development optimized. They already started. Sea of Thieves optimized for Series X. I'm sure State of Decay 2 will be optimized for the Series X. I don't know if they're going to tout out Crackdown 3. But exactly. So your July showcase is gonna be what they're working. It's not gonna be a full blown out thing of like, here are all studios, which we know all the studios, and it's kind of something what they're working on. We already know what a lot of them working on. It's gonna be Halo. The biggest ones that we have questions on that might be big ones is Playground Games, if that's gonna be Fable, Obsidian's new game, and if the Initiative. Those are the 3 studios that I'm interested in to see if they're going to deliver some big AAA games. Whether it's IP that Microsoft had and they're going to make it bigger and awesome, or it is going to be Mark said Smilegate. Yeah, they got to talk about Smilegate and Battletoads. But like, those are the 3 that I'm looking forward to in July. I want to see if Initiative is really working on a big game. I want to see, for new games, I want to see what Obsidian's new game is, and I want to see, and I'm interested to see if Playground Games is doing the Fable and what that looks like, and then Halo. Those are the kind of things. The rest of it, if they don't talk, and it's like, hey, well, what are they going to talk about, right? Well, I got it queued up, guys. I got it queued up. So if we go right back to this July event, all right, shout out to the 30 Grinders in here. Yeah, baby. Hit that like button, share it out. What the hell's going on here? Here we go. I'm just going back. No, these are all my shows. What the hell's going on here? Xbox 2020. Did I have it queued up? Hold on. Let me get it queued up. Because they mentioned it in the May one. Because again, they're hyping up their the Xbox the Xbox July event. So everybody's like, the July event's happening, right? And this July event is gonna be the counter to Sony. Like, this is July event is their E3. So we already saw they already talked about what their July event is going to be. But here we go. No, not that. What is this? Yeah, because they had is this it? That's not it. Oh, is this it? Oh my god. I had it up, and then because I messed around with YouTube. Let's mess with YouTube here. A Xbox 20. Because he mentions at the end, when he holds up his Master Chief helmet. There it is. So and we're talking about the July event, because that's what everybody's been talking about, like the July event, right? And this is Matt Booty talking about the July event.
Teams to the table. They're going to be joined by Jeff, Katarina, and Malik. Team Xbox coming in strong. It's an exciting day. We know fans have been waiting for this, but also we know you're wondering what's going on with Xbox Game Studios. You guys have 15 creative teams now around the world. You blew us away at XO19. You blew us away at the Game Awards with Hellblade 2. We know you've got more. Of course we do. And with that, I want to welcome the head of Xbox.
So this is basically a sneak peek of what July is.
Thanks, Aaron, and hi, everybody. I want to start by saying that our first concern is really with the safety of our teams and, of course, their families. And that's why they are all working from home right now, whether it's in Sweden, the UK, Canada, or the US. And I've really been impressed with the ingenuity and the creativity that they've shown to get around some of the challenges of working from home and to keep production moving forward on our great lineup of games. And so we're excited that we will begin unveiling gameplay from our studios starting in July, including some from our newer studios like Double Fine, Ninja Theory, and Obsidian.
Woo! Whoa. Matt, it feels like we might have left some off the list there.
Yeah, and Aaron, also 343 and Halo.
That's right.
So there you go. Obsidian, Ninja Theory, and Double Fine. So there. So Double Fine's game, you know what? again, if they weren't ready with the gameplay that they didn't show in this event, nobody forced them to do this May 1. You know? And I don't know. Maybe they respond. That will be interesting. Oh, come up the best. I did come up the best one. What was the best one?
Including some from our newer studios like Double Fine, Ninja Theory, and Obsidian.
Woo! Whoa, Matt, it feels like we might have left some off the list there.
Yeah, and Aaron also 343 and Halo.
That's right. It's time to get hyped. Halo's coming. Halo Infinite. You've been waiting. The world's most anticipated game. July, mark the calendars. Xbox Game Studios. We got teams around the world that are working on big surprises, big reveals for you. I could not be more excited. I can tell you we're going to work every week between now and then to deliver for our fans. But today we're going to put the spotlight on our partners and let them shine and show you what Xbox Series X gameplay look like. Let's have a go.
That has got to be the worst freaking camera I've ever seen. Oh my god! When he's side by side with Matt Booty, it looks like he's talking through a freaking cup and string, like from 1980 or some bullshit like that. Yo, what's up, Darkside? How you doing? Yeah, man. Like, it's been insane. That is very funny. Like, just seeing them side by side, I was like, what the hell is going on with that thing? But, like, the thing is that Sony did this production, and they effectively shown why to buy next generation, right? And the thing is that they showed next generation gameplay. And what I said is, after this show, like, the people were worried about next generation. They're like, oh my god, nothing looks next generation. And the thing is Sony showed why next generation, and then they showed a very bold console design, which people go, that looks expensive. Now people are saying that it might be more expensive than the Series X. What happened to 12 teraflops? Like, I thought the more powerful one would be more expensive. That's what they sold you with the X, right? The thing is that Microsoft had an opportunity to start talking about the X, and they didn't. But the whole pandemic thing affected everybody. Microsoft chose to brand this as Xbox 2020 inside Xboxes, and July will be their first party. Yes, exactly, D. This is not all from their first party. So let's talk about that first party. We have, you hear it on every podcast, right? Oh, like I already gave you the three that I'm in. Those are the only ones that I think have potential to show something decent. And Halo has to show well. And if they made July all about Halo, an in-depth thing about Halo, I think they should do something like that instead. If Halo was that big, they should do something like that. Like what they did with Ghost and what they did with Last of Us. Like they just do a deep dive and do it. Like they could have done that already. And I don't know what their June event is, but that discless PlayStation, I think definitely puts a little crinkle in time to Microsoft to deal with the Lockhart and the Lockhart's existence right now. Because they just do a weaker console if it's discless or if it's just a discless X. I don't think it has any kind. It's just so confusing. They needed to have a discless Series X. And now, the fact that they introduce it now, they didn't introduce it together. I just think it's crazy that Sony dropped a discless and a disc PlayStation 5. Again, crystal clear. Crystal clear. Sony, again, their lineup. Here are our games. It has all uniformity with the design. Here's our headset. Here's our controllers. Here's our charging docks for our goddamn controllers. Microsoft's still using AA batteries. So now they got Energizer now making accessories for them. Microsoft can't, like, there you go. Like, Sony showed what to see on store shelves. They basically gave the image that all big box retailers could just slap that right on their friggin' storefront and go, here's the Sony PlayStation 5. Crystal clear. Microsoft has to go now, hey, remember the Series X from December? Who? Yeah, and now we got a Lockhart. Who? Oh, but it was called Project Scarlet. It's called Series... Microsoft talked too early. And I said this before. I think it was on a preset podcast. I was like, this could counter. They have to keep that momentum going. And they put a burden on themselves by showing stuff so early and giving bullet points for Sony to be like, console, games, gameplay, boom. You know? That's the thing. Here's our lineup. We did it. Then they go, oh, here's our sad edition. Sony like digital edition. Boom. There it is. Clear message. One show. Started it off. Erased 6 months of Microsoft build-up of teraflops and all this SSDs and all that talk got erased. And that's where I think it's so funny, because I see people going like, well, nothing showed the SSD. Well, you know what? Ratchet was pretty damn close to showing what an SSD can do and how Sony might be utilizing it. But again, that's the tech talk. Let the games do the talking. Kenny! Now, we're on the YouTubes and the Periscope and on the Twitch too. I'm all over the place. Represent on that Periscope, on that Twitter. Share it out over there. Maybe get more people on Periscope. But I definitely appreciate you, Kenny, coming out. Yeah, Captain Crunch, I saw it. $450. I think it's gonna be a $50 difference between the two PlayStations. I do think that might be something something that I think it gives them. See, the thing is with the digital one, it gives them flexibility with the price. Yeah, Ken, I'm also on the YouTube too. You can follow me and subscribe over there. That's where the grinders are too. I get the grinders on Periscope as well. But basically, it gives them flexibility of price. Because I thought that they're just gonna go just one, right? I thought they were just going to be like just one console, and Microsoft's going to have this kind of a high-priced one and a low-priced one, and they didn't. The problem is that the thing is now they got two SKUs where they could be flexible on price, $50. They could have a high-priced one and then a low-priced one, and then they could compensate either way by throwing in bundles or doing something else, like they're throwing in like the dock or things like that. But it gives them flexibility. But again, a clear, simple message. Built up the hype, advertised it on ESPN. You built this all up, and then you delivered. And the fact that people with the hype levels going into this show, and I tweeted it out, going like, I can't believe how much hype for Sony's show there was. It was almost E3-esque. The hype levels, the media, everybody hyped this up. And for them to get an astounding A's and B's in the votes that people are having, and even watching Giant Bomb and IGN and GameSpot and watching all the media outlets cover this and everybody walking away impressed, that is something that's really hard to do when there was so much hype to be built for it. And you don't see Herman Holtz coming out after this show apologizing because of the stumble. And the thing is a lot of people were hoping, and remember, as we led up to this, Sony's not showing anything. Sony's afraid. Sony has nothing. They're not talking. They're afraid. The 12 teraflops got them shook. They canceled PAX. They canceled E3. They're not going because Sony's shook. Sony's afraid. Microsoft has a stage now. They got Sony shaking in their boots. Sony's overconfident. Sony's going to stumble. They're going to do the PlayStation 3 again because you know why? It always goes back and forth. The other one always stumbles. Well, Sony came out with the guns and came out with even a bigger slap in the face with the design and a discless console when Microsoft was the one running around with this all-digital platform and services and stuff, and Sony already got the message that there's a disc one and a discless one. And now Microsoft showed their X without it. Hey, what's up, Salty? And Microsoft showed one console with the disc drive. Now Microsoft comes down and goes, oh, we got a discless one. It's like, but wait a second. So that's the discless one of the one you announced in December? See, the problem is that by Sony showing everything in one shot, a clear message yet again. How do you share games? This is how you share games. But Microsoft was talking TV. Oh, we got games at E3. Microsoft messaging flopped. What happened now again? I alluded to this in my first show in the beginning of May. I was like, this May event is impactful. It reminds me of 2013. Microsoft flopped with the messaging. of the console reveal, of the console gameplay reveal, the thing that matters the most, and gives Sony the opportunity to go and show gameplay and really capitalize on Microsoft's missteps. And what did Sony do? Exactly that. Right after that show, they showed gameplay of next gen using the Unreal Engine and had their names slapped all over the place associated with Unreal 5. And had Sweeney fighting off Linus Tech Reviews and everybody else and PC Master Races and fighting everybody, justifying why that thing needs to be on a PlayStation 5. And you want to know what? If he's lying, he's lying. That doesn't matter. It's advertisement. It's association. Nobody's associating 12 teraflops with Unreal 5. It's PlayStation 5, Unreal 5. And that was whatever marketing or whatever that was, it was effective. Then they show their current gen games, all gameplay that looks outstanding, that you're like, wait a second, this generation? Yep, it is. Gameplay, gameplay, gameplay. That's all Sony's been pushing out and mentioning since May event. Gameplay, gameplay, gameplay. And what happened in 2013? Sharing games, accounts, maybe you trade them in, maybe you don't. Sony's like, here, you hand the game to somebody. Simple, effective, boom. And there you go. And just to jump on that, because I've seen this other thing, I'm going to get to the other point, was the backwards compatibility thing. So I put out there, so basically, this whole prosumer thing, and this is another point that I wanted to touch on. Backwards compatibility. I was going to do a show yesterday because I got tried. Hey, what's up, Kieran? How you doing? Throw in the goddamn towel. That's right. Throw it in because this is not looking good.
Another one, and another one, and another one.
Backwards compatibility. This whole prosumer thing, I was just like, it drives me insane that people go, next generation exclusives are anti-consumer. Somebody needs a slap. Because I don't know in what goddamn world you live in. The fact that Sony is making games just for the PlayStation 5 is anti-consumer. But Microsoft giving you the same old shit and telling you that it runs better with a free digital patch is somehow better. The thing is, they're two different positions. Sony is doing backwards compatibility. This is from CNET. This is not from fanboy websites. Well, it is, the PSU.com. But this quote is taken from CNET. We said the PlayStation 5 has been designed to play PlayStation 4 games. Okay? Like, we're going through the process with publishers and developers, testing that rather exhaustive library over 4,000 games. We're happy with the progress that has been made. I saw Jez Corden going around going, I love that I did Xbox in 2013 because all my games, or most of my games, will come with me. Sony is yet to be clear on that message. I've been saying this. Shout out to Sick Humors. I was on that show. I went off on a rant about this thing. I did this a lot on Salty's show. If you on Microsoft didn't, I think we all could agree. The Xbox One generation of games ever since 2016 has been dog shit. Right? It has been dog shit. So why do you want to bring that shit with you? Why is that so important? If you go and watch, like, do I have to break my train of thought again? This is fucking grinds my gears, guys. This is the shit that I do. You know what? That's why you guys come in here. That's why you guys listen to me. Because you know what? I talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. and we're gonna do something here. Okay? Let's see. You know what? Fuck, I'm not even gonna go to Twitch. I'm gonna go to Mixer because that's Microsoft. Should I go to Mixer or Twitch? I'll probably have more clout if I went to Twitch. Because Mixer is done. That's the next thing that's out the goddamn fucking window. Fucking Mixer. Mixer's gonna be in the garbage. So let's see. You know what? Oh, here, look at this. I already had it queued up. I want these games to come with me. Oh, shit. I'm not even sharing it. It's so nice. These games come with me. Microsoft's prosumer right here. Okay. Yeah, because this is a fucking gem that everybody can't wait to play on Series X. I'm going to go buy my Series X, and day one, I'm throwing Crackdown 3 in there. Wait a second. Let's do it again. Oh, I love that Microsoft's so prosumer. Please, I need to play. These games have so much clout. These games have such a following that I need to have this. The only one I think that Microsoft needs to do is the Housefly that don't die. Sea of Thieves is the only one. The Housefly that doesn't die. Sea of Thieves. That's much more like it. But Sea of friggin' Thieves. Look at this. That's the only game that I can see. Maybe, like, you know what? We'll support Sea of Thieves because it's the Housefly that doesn't die. But let's see what else. You know, let's look at Gears 5. Let's see how much interest is in Gears 5. Sea of Thieves got 38,000 people, and Gears 5 got 314. The interest. No, it got to be Gears 4, right? Gears 4, maybe, right? 14 people watching Gears 4. Know what? It's Halo. It's got to be Halo. But these games I could see because these are your games. Halo, you know, Halo, Master Chief, I could see that. Now watch. This is an old-ass game. 19,000 views, Last of Us. Now let's see. God of War. Yo, we're talking 382 viewers. We're talking games that Microsoft has, but they got 3 viewers. 17. Let's see what Spider-Man. Now, these weren't really big streaming games. So let's see. Again, one and dones, right? The hell, Spider-Man? There it is. Let's see. Is this like 15? 302 viewers. Actually, decent game. Or Will of the Wisps. That's 165. That game? Okay. Let's see what is another one. What is another one, guys? Oh, yeah. I'm so glad that these games come with me. The thing is that it's a nice to have. Yeah, where's Bleeding Edge? Everybody capping for Bleeding Edge, right? But look, it's nice that your library comes with you. But I wouldn't consider that as something that's essential, that's so prosumer. Like, how do you say making new hardware and new games for that hardware is anti-consumer? Yo, what's up, Lincoln Clay? How you doing? And what I was trying to show is that if you made a generation of games that people like Game of the Year, games that you built this amazing library in the Xbox One generation, and you're like, guys, that whole library is coming with you. That's why backwards compatibility was so impactful to those with the Xbox One, because the 360 coming over, there were some great games on the 360 that you wanted to play. And that's why I always say it's not about where you play, it's about if you want to play. And the want to play their games is not there. And what they have shown and what they have, like, you know, what they have announced is not gaining any interest to people what they want to play. People will probably want to play God of War again, Last of Us again, you know, Horizon 1 again, because those were great games. You want to have great games come with you. When you got 68s and 65s, see what you're doing is you're hurting your future. And that's what I've said this a couple of times. Whereas when you have a game that like Sea of Thieves or State of Decay that just does not do well critically and people don't care about it, you're hurting the future of your brand because nobody really wants to play these games. That's not building a legacy. That's not building a following. That's building a sense of doubt, a sense of insecurity. So when Sony's like, we're going to support Sony had the best generation of PlayStation 4, yeah, all those games come with you. So, like, I just don't understand why there's such an impact. Like, that is, like, the winning strategy is that, you know, Xbox has their games come with you. Sony is doing backwards compatibility. It's right here. And the comment that what somebody said to Jez, like, they announced it. And he goes, oh, when? Oh, you mean, oh, not at launch. And that's what people are going, well, they're not going to have these at launch. They're going to have, like, maybe 1,000 games at launch. Well, you're forgetting they're going to have 1,000 games at launch, but they're also going to have new next-gen games, okay? That's why it's a nice to have. That's right, Salty, the mediocre place to play. It's faulted. Why you want to bring over your mediocrity? Like, oh, well, I own 300 games. I don't play them now. Like, I don't play them. Oh, you want to do Predator? Actually, I picked up Predator with that state of play thing, with the play thing. I'm going to play that. So if anybody has Predator, you want to jump on that, I'm going to try to jump on that. I wanted to, but my son's doing the Fortnite. There's 56 viewers. There's 56 viewers for Predator Hunting Grounds with 17 for Bleeding Edge. Well, actually, Bleeding Edge, how many? Bleeding Edge has 17 viewers. Predator has 56. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. But, like, backwards compatibility is nice. And it's really good. But you got to realize, Microsoft is not doing it to be pro-consumer. Microsoft is doing it because of Game Pass. They cannot, and I don't know whose podcast I was listening to that said this, but and it was the same thing that I said, that you cannot sever, like, if you're expecting all first party to be in Game Pass and you subscribe for a year, what happens if they go Halo Infinite is a next generation exclusive? Well, now your Game Pass value just dropped because you're like, wait a second, I don't get that unless I get an Xbox Series X. It's like, yeah, well, that's not cool. And that's why Microsoft has to commit to their entire library being playable on any device, because the problem is that's what they're going for. So it's not necessarily that this is because they're just your friends, which I don't understand. Everybody's like, they're my friends. They're not your friends. It's because it serves their business model. Making next generation games for a next generation machine serves Sony business model to get you to upgrade. So when you're sitting here and saying Microsoft has an opportunity to come back, Microsoft is going to win. Well, Microsoft is going to, Sony's going to flop, and Microsoft with backwards compatibility is going to come in there. You're talking out your ass and out your mouth at the same time. And guess what? They both stink. Because what you're saying, and this is what I've been saying, when they're like, you complain about this stuff, I'm like, you realize the things that I'm complaining about are things that hurt the brand of the console. That does not make the console flourish and even warrant a comeback or challenge to Sony. That's why, as a true Xbox fan, you would want that scenario, because everything that they have done has just been a defeat, has just been an admittance of just failure. It is like the person that just got beat up and said, hey, are you going to go back and train and come back and beat the hell out of that bully? Because you shouldn't be taking that beating anymore. Instead, the person's like, I'm just going to take my beating, go home, and make a cheesecake. It's not about fighting. It's about baking. Excuse me? You've been getting beat up by this person so much. Like, you should go back and lift weights and train and be better and smack them so you stop getting smacked around. No, it's not I'm not doing that. I'm going to be a baker. But what do you mean? Well, that's the winning strategy. I'm just going to make him a cake. I'm gonna bake him a cake. And you know what that person's gonna do? You go hand them a cake, they're gonna take the cake, they're gonna take a bite out of it, and then they're gonna shove it in your face and kick you in the balls. Hey, thank you for subscribing, Devil Shooter. New subscriber, new member to the Grindhouse. That's what they're gonna do. And it's not cool. Sony's doing backwards compatibility. So there is your argument to come, oh, I'm worried. Sony's not going to have backwards compatibility. Ooh, I'm worried. Well, I'm going to be playing Ratchet and Clank. I'm going to be playing Spider-Man. Miles Morales. Like, it's nice that my system could play God of War, but I'm not going to be throwing God of War on day one of the PlayStation 5. Like, I'm going to be playing next-gen games to demonstrate the power of my next-gen system. Hell, I'm going to be playing that goddamn Playroom with Astrobot, the bake box. You could cook right on the grill. It's a freaking cooking grill box. So this whole, like, it's anti-consumer that they make next-gen exclusives. That's like buying a barbecue and saying that it's anti-consumer that you got to go buy meat to cook on your barbecue. Or it's like buying a car and saying it's anti-consumer that I have to buy gas for this car. Well, excuse me, you got a new car. You gotta have content for. You gotta give gas in the car. That's anti-consumer. My gas should come with me. Like, I should not have to pay for gas. I should not have to put meat on this barbecue. You're making a new hardware product. You got to put content for that product. That is not a goddamn anti-consumer. That is a reason to sell a product. Like I said, you go back and look at my lemonade analogy. Like, if you're going to sit there and put effort and show your product and sell your product, how the hell is that anti-consumer? Because the dude with his legs crossed going like, do whatever you want. That dude's not going to sell shit. Jesus, it's common sense. You got to give a reason to sell your product. Because then why does your product exist? Oh, just to be an option. Xbox, the most optional console. Thanks, Phil. Like, come on. Like, what is that? Just like the graphics cards. Like, I just saw Glorious Kev jump on about the whole thing about the, hardware and graphics cards. Like, they gotta keep making better games for you to buy greater graphics cards. If the gaming fidelity never changed and your graphics cards weren't challenged, you wouldn't buy another one. Is it anti-consumer that they want to make better games? How is that anti-consumer? I just don't understand it. I know. Wait, Deal says Sony's anti-consumer because they're not doing PlayStation. Oh, yeah. Anti-consumer. PlayStation 1 games. They've done PlayStation 2 games. They actually redid them to be 1080p. You know that? And they actually have them in PlayStation now. There's PlayStation 2 games like Ape Escape and games like that have been redone and but you got to buy them. Okay. Well, they've been redone in 1080. They've been redone. They added, some of them added online too. They redid these things. Anti-consumer. Because Microsoft made 12 Xbox original games backwards compatible with no online, and basically it just jacks up because it is running on newer hardware. Trust me, it's nice to have. It's nice. It's not bad. But I don't think it's the extreme of like, oh my God, they're so prosumer and Sony is anti-consumer. Like, I don't understand that. I saw somebody tweet out some Xbox website, and she has all Xbox all over the place in the background, and she writes for Halo magazine or something. She goes, to summarize a tweet, was like, what the hell does she say? She's like, what was it about? Oh my God. It was about the, not backwards compatibility. It was, oh yeah. The fact that Microsoft is not, is not forcing me to upgrade is why I'll stick with them and buy an Xbox Series. Like, is why I'm like, why that's so prosumer. That the fact that they're not making you want to buy a next console. I'm like, what? It's so prosumer that they're not wanting, that they're not making you upgrade. Then why even make an upgrade? Then if there's no reason to get it. And the people are celebrating this. And then saying, well, Xbox is coming back. You realize the fact that there is no need to buy the next gen console. How does that bring Xbox back? The hypocrisy is ridiculous. Celebrate prosumer things like, I don't need to buy the new console. Phil says he don't care about the console. I could upgrade whenever I want. You really think that makes the Series X fly off of shelves? That gets developers to want to develop solely for the Series X and get timed exclusives and get excitement for the console? No. It makes the console sell at even slower rate because people are not upgrading. Remember the old Xbox mantra, the first to 10 million wins the generation. You want to know why Microsoft launched the 360 a year before the PlayStation 3? Was to get the mind share and get the developers developing for the 360 and familiar with the hardware and get to that 10 million faster. Because once you got that, you gain the mind share and you become the kind of de facto console that they develop for. That's why a console generation and its sales mean so much, because the console that's in the market, the permeated the most, is the one the developers are going to put on, and it gives you more leverage to do these time exclusives. And the fact that Sony got exclusives from Bethesda, from Square Enix, whether they're timed or console exclusives or just plain old exclusives, the thing is that Sony has the leverage to get Bethesda to make them an exclusive game and put it on their system for 6 months or a year. They said today, or yesterday, they basically said that some of those exclusive deals go from a months to 2 years. And I thought it was hilarious. I think it was Porterock put out a tweet with people on the Xbox side making lists saying these games are timed exclusives. He's like, the generation didn't even start yet, and there's already a waiting list for games coming to Xbox. Like,
you bastards! You vicious, heartless bastards!
Like, seriously, there's already a waiting list for like, oh, these are just time exclusive. They will come to Xbox eventually, just like Final Fantasy VII. Oh, remake, it's coming to Xbox. Like, you want to be on the side that says it's coming? You're gonna buy the most powerful console on day one for $400, $500, $600, and then sit there and go, these games are gonna come to my platform eventually. I'll just play my old games backwards compatible because that's all I'm gonna do while Phil's still making games for me. He didn't sign any deals, so I gotta wait because Sony's so anti-consumer and made reasons to buy their console, and now I gotta wait for those games. Like, you sound petty, you sound silly, and you sound like you're making excuses for a losing team. When you have a losing team, you demand better from that team. You want that team to turn it around. That's what we all want. We all want them to realize their missteps and come back and be strong. Buy those time deals. Now, when you say that, people go, July. Oh, real? Okay. All right. Their showpiece in May, when they had the stage to themselves, E3 last year, Phil don't do third-party deals with big publishers. He's not buying Bethesda games. People are like, oh, now buy Warner Brothers, Phil. No. Because the games that Warner Brothers makes is not Game Pass fodder. The games that Warner Brothers makes are big AAA games like Batman. They are not going to want to put their game. I don't think the superhero isn't even the deal, but like, they're not going to want to. Nobody wants to put their games in Game Pass day one. You show me Cyberpunk and day one Game Pass, I'm like, okay, maybe Game Pass is a real deal. But when you go, well, these games didn't sell that well, they're in Game Pass now. Well, that makes me, Game Pass is the graveyard then. Oh, I wasn't going to play it, but it's in Game Pass. Game Pass is a graveyard. You put Cyberpunk in there day one, now we're talking. And I think that's why Microsoft bought those studios. Because no third-party dev or a second-party deal, like when they had those deals like with Rise, and they had those deals with Remedy, and all that other stuff. Why we didn't get sequels is because Microsoft shifted their focus. They shifted it to Game Pass. And I don't think they could have made really good second-party deals like with Titanfall and all that other stuff. They stopped doing that because those developers did not want to put their games probably in Game Pass day one. So the only way that Microsoft could control the content in Game Pass was to have studios have no other option. They're owned by them. We own you, Obsidian. You think Obsidian would have put Outer Worlds in day one if Microsoft did not buy them? No. Outer Worlds was in Game Pass because Microsoft bought them. That's the thing. Microsoft had to buy these studios in order for them to get 100% guaranteed in Game Pass. They had to control that. They're not controlling what they're making, they say, but they're controlling how it's distributed. And the only way to do that is to be the owner of those studios and control that content. That's why you don't see Madden in Game Pass day one, Call of Duty in Game Pass, Bungie's Destiny in Game Pass day one, or like any rumors about any big third-party games launching in Game Pass day one. They got 10 million subscribers. The paradigm shift is about Game Pass. And that's why when we look at the July event, games that we have seen on Sony's showcase are next level, right? They're big, blockbuster games, big budgets. Their first-party studios know the size and scope and quantity. Plus, they got the indies, then they got the third-party deals. The PlayStation showcase showed me that Sony is going to continue to do what it did in the PlayStation 4 era to be successful. And I think that's another thing that, Salty been saying, and a lot of us that really started with Xbox and saw the quality shift in Xbox games and what Sony was offering, and now became really open to what Sony has done and appreciated that they're still legit in these games that they're offering. Because I told you, when I played Uncharted 4, after I beat that game, and I told you, I did a standing. I was like on the mud scene when you're on the car and you're getting pulled in. I was like, I can't believe I'm playing this. And then I looked and I turned left and I saw my Xbox One S sitting there, surround Atmos hookup to my projector, and I looked and I was like, I never experienced anything like that ever on that system. And I don't think I ever will. And then I played more. And even shitty games that got reviewed, like the Order 1812, I was like, this is even better than basically what I played. And hi, bro. Hi, bro. That's exactly what I got, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I got 2 PCs. They are capable of playing games. I got 2060. So that's why that's why I care so much about the content because right now for me, Microsoft, all this hardware stuff, it will be wonderful if they give you a reason to own it because I'll go get it. But really for me, it's the content. And I'm more critical of the content now because that's all I see from them on my PC. It's the content. And what games can I go play? And everything's been compromised because of a Game Pass. And I jump on with a box of Pop-Tarts. I play their game. That's it. You're right. The order should have been PlayStation Gears of War. I thought the order, the area, what they set up, the steampunk, the werewolves, dude, it was like Van Helsing. It was really good. There was some repetitive stuff and a lot of some walking segments. It was a short game, but I thought it was great. I was like, I can't wait for a sequel to this. Like this is what happened. Just like Uncharted 1. Like that wasn't like flew off shelves, but like they built onto it. And that's where Microsoft missed. Like they could have made Rise a franchise. They could have made Even Dead Rising from Capcom, they could have made that kind of their thing. They dropped the ball with Dead Rising 4, with that holiday pack. They didn't control that. They could have made, they could have made Quantum Break a friggin' franchise. But they just dropped that ball, made Remedy go make Control, basically Quantum Break 2 for other platforms. They didn't hone in on the franchise. Thank you, Kev. Hit that like button, guys. Let's get, what do we got here? Oh, where my thing? But that's the thing. It's like really. Oh wow, my God, you guys are great. And good afternoon now. We got that's what Salty was saying. I wasn't even looking. 48 watching. Thank you so much, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna try to get to 400 subscribers. I'm at 388. Let's hit that 400 mark. Let's go. By the July event. By the July event. Let's get 400 grinders in here. Let's get 400 grinders on the Grindhouse. And it was the last thing I wanted to bring up is this. I opened up my eyes today, opened up your eyes, and I turned on the Twitters. And the last thing I wanted to turn on, and I saw this, when we're talking about generations and next generation games. And Sony actually teased it with their UI. They had their boot screen, and somebody said hit PlayStation button to start. And I thought we were going to see the UI. But guess what? What do you think Xbox's UI is going to be? Do you think they're going to have a reveal about it? Well, boom. Open up the safe. Picture's got a lot to say. Tom Warren says, I can confirm the Xbox Series X dashboard will be the same as the Xbox One. Microsoft is adding some additional stuff in the console features, but the UI and dash will be the same. Speed and performance will always be improved. Wah, 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 wah.
You bastards! You vicious, heartless bastards!
What's with kids today, huh? No respect.
And I come to squeeze.
And then Jez is like, I got no time for that. An update's coming. And then Tom goes, there will be dashboard updates. I meant redesign. And Tom Warren counters Jez Gordon going, there's no big dash redesign planned. What? I don't know. Just minor changes. Any changes will be rolled to the Xbox One in the coming months is in prep for the Series X.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time.
Sauce, please.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Because I heard something else. Where is he? What the fuck is this son of a bitch? Oh, he's double A's. Let's see Aaron's pinned tweet. Oh! Oh, as far as I know. Gotcha. Thank you, Game Night. I thought that was a typo. But here, pinned. Xbox believes in generations. Generations of games that we play on the latest hardware, taking advantage of next gen. No, that's not generations. No. That's like how a 1-year-old would use generations, or like a first grader. We believe in generations, generation games. Nice Phil Ness there, because that's not what we're talking about. And Sony's saying a generational leap in games, design, and function. You're not doing that. This Xbox Series X is the Xbox One X remastered. I've been saying it and saying it again. And the grinders know this. And the rest of them will find out. The Xbox Series X, and because of the stupid ass names of these consoles, this is why I go with PlayStation. because the Xbox Series X is going to be a $500 Xbox One X remastered. The campaign of the launch is the same thing. Play your old games better. You already did that with the X. Now, play your old games better. Or have them more better, as bad grammar would give you. This is the problem. You're trying to repackage a next generation campaign on a mid-gen goddamn refresh. Sony knows this. That is why Gordon Ramsay looking motherfucker, Jim Ryan, laid it out going, we believe in generational leaps. Let's go back and see exactly what he said, because that's how we're going to close the difference of generations. Because this is what he said. And we're going to go back to PlayStation and let's hear how Jim Ryan closes out the PlayStation 5 presentation. They know this. They know that Microsoft is trying to finesse everybody into thinking that they're getting a next generation product or current generation games because they got a guarantee on the box. And as Tommy Boy said, he could take a shit in a box and slap guarantee on it because he knows he's selling you a guaranteed piece of shit. So Microsoft is putting that guarantee optimized on Series X bullshit, but in a current gen packaged game. That's exactly what they're doing. They're taking a game that they were gonna make anyway for the Xbox One S and repackaging it to make it look like and telling you it's optimized for the Series X. And it might take advantages of the Series X. Of course it will. It's running on an SSD, so there's advantage number one. So it's gonna run better just because of the hardware that it's running on. But what did you do software-wise to really take advantage of this? And that's what Sony showed in their presentation. They started to show that, and you know there is more to come. So Greenberg says they believe in generations. Man, so many people stream this friggin' thing. I just want the official one, PlayStation. My goodness. I should have this thing queued up, man. But you know how I roll. There it is. Damn, 11 million views. Let's see what he says. And they know this, and this is why their reveal has been so much more effective. Listen to this.
We hope you've enjoyed the first glimpse of our future today. You've seen our most striking console design yet, and you've seen games that can only be enjoyed with the full range of PlayStation 5's features and power.
Anti-consumer! Yeah,
At PlayStation, we believe in generational transitions, and we put years of work into making them happen. We want you to enjoy the unique benefits of moving from one generation to the next. Thank you for joining us. We're launching later this year, and we have tons more to share.
You said it right there.
Welcome to PlayStation 5.
We believe in going, and look at his hand movements of what he's doing. Phil will be a flat line. We're looking at generations. Beep, beep. Like, just flatlined. Because they just want you to go beep, like right into the other one. He goes, we want you over here to come over here. Phil's like, just stay there, stay there.
Be enjoyed with the full range of PlayStation 5's features and power.
Go to Ramsey.
At PlayStation, we believe in generational transitions.
Donkey!
And we put years of work into making them happen. We want you to enjoy the unique benefits of moving from one generation to the next. Thank you for joining us.
There you go.
We're launching later.
And you think they got, and they, you know what they're going to do? They're going to wait for Microsoft's next little bitch move, and they're going to say, okay, well, The next state of play is going to be Horizon 2 being played on a PlayStation 5. Go. Breaks the internet. Just with a game they already shown. Dude, come on. And it's amazing that he has to say this. What console, what person has been gaming on consoles that needed that kind of clarification? That's because dopey ass Phil Spencer is trying to spin another narrative. Stay where you are. Be complacent. Enjoy old shit. Oh, but we're making new stuff if you want. If you want versus it's a need to have. And the games that they showed is a start of I need to have this. I was ready to pre-order this. Moving from one generation to another. So who's going to be more effective in migrating the next generation? So if you're happy where you are and you're satisfied with playing Bleeding Edge, and then I can't wait to play Bleeding Edge at 60 frames per second in better 4K than the 4K that it already is, enjoy. My thing is if 17 people are interested in Bleeding Edge watching it, and you're not playing these games now, a majority of people, then who cares if you could play these games on next generation? They did not make bangers this generation that you would even want to bring with you to next generation. So why is that even a factor? They're going to support backwards compatibility. They're going to support the gems and the Game of the Year winners that they made in the PlayStation 4 era that you want to play. Celebrated games. Games like Nintendo does the same thing. Games that people want to play again and again and again. Oh, they're selling you remakes. They're remakes to games that people want to play. No motherfucker wanted to play ReCore Definitive Edition because nobody fucking gave a shit about ReCore Regular Edition. Think, McFly, think! You made goddamn ReCore Definitive Edition with the missing bot, but nobody gave a fuck about the original ReCore. Nobody wants to play your games. That's your problem. If you make games that people want to play, then they will want to play them forever. Therefore, bringing them with me holds some value. But if you're making 68 Metacritic games going, content is coming, oh, I'll just play it in Game Pass, hip hip hooray, who cares if that game comes with you or stays in the box? Who cares? You don't have you didn't build. That's why the failures of this generation, Microsoft would have been better doing what Jim Ryan, Gordon Ramsay saying, well, and you want to know what? That's exactly what they did with the Xbox original. They dropped that one. They said, wrap it up. We're done with the OG. Here comes the 360. Halo's coming with you. At least you can play Halo, because that's the only game that we really want to be playing. Halo 2 from the OG. That will work day one on the 360, but here's a whole bunch of new games. That's what they did with the 360. Exactly, Guyver. Ghost, Last of Us 2. Those games you would want to play. 96 Metacritic game. Yo, let me throw that back in a year and a half from now on the new PlayStation 5. 17 dudes on Bleeding Edge. They're going to be playing Bleeding Edge next year. They can't wait to play it on Series X. Come on. That's why there needs to be... That's why it's nice to have, but it's not a big deal because they really didn't do a lot this generation to make legacy games that people want to continue to play. It's just a little bullet point that people go like, oh, it's so prosumer. It's so nice. Sony's doing the same thing. The difference is that Sony had a banger of a generation in the PlayStation 4, and the fact that those games will come with you holds more impact than the fact that you could play OG Xbox games without online in the original 4x3 format, because all Microsoft did was flip a switch and saying, hey, Xbox, just play this old Xbox game. Oh, and just jack up the resolution so people think they got an enhancement. Okay, great. Oh, and the frame rate too. But it has no online. That's why every time they use that backwards compatibility as like, oh, well, guess what? Crimson Sky is backwards compatible this month. Yay! I put the game in and I'm like, you can't play online. So it works. Yay. I said it works, and then now it's it. And that's right. Well, the Penguin, like it's the Series X is just an upgrade, and it's a transitional upgrade. It is just it's like going from a 1080 to a 3080 or a 2080. That's all it is. It's just more power for your old ass games. And the games that they're coming will be optimized for the new power, but they're not going to be fully optimized because they got to run on the old hardware. And I'm talking about their first party, because I think third party is going to be like, screw that old shit. We're going to put some games on the new stuff. But third parties, of all of them, you think third party are the ones that will want to make games for cross-gen. It's Microsoft first party. It's the first, and that would, and this showcase, the first party is the stuff that demonstrated that people gravitate to. Ratchet and Clank, Horizon 2, Spider-Man. Those are the games that people were interested in. Those are the ones that stood out because guess what? They were able to demonstrate why you need to upgrade. And he says it time and time again. We want to make it a benefit to you. That's anti-consumer. They're trying to sell you a product and give you reasons to own that product. I don't understand how that's bad. I think it's worse if you make a product and you make people ask why I even need to upgrade. That's bad. That's bad for you because now you're just like, well, what do I do with my library? I guess I just bring it with me. Like, I really don't need to. And especially if you're the same person that wants to see some improvement from Xbox, how can you celebrate that message? That message does not indicate people, that message does not allow the console to be sold at a faster rate at all. It actually makes it be sold at a slower rate. And I think if this message continues and Sony keeps capitalizing on this, they're going to have people lined up like crazy to buy this PlayStation 5. And the only success that I'll see Xbox have is if you can't buy a PlayStation and you have to go get Booster for the Christmas. This is jingle all the way, and I'm gonna keep using that because that's exactly what this holiday is gonna be. Unless there's some craziness that goes on, if Sony say, hey, $800 and Microsoft's $400, but you want to know what? Even if Sony comes out at $600, at $500, at $400, they got that digital version. They could have like a $500 and a $450. I don't think it's going to be $600. I think they're looking at $500 and maybe $450. And I think Microsoft's going to do $500 and Lockhart will probably be $400 or $350, something like that. But the thing is that if Sony continues to say why you need to upgrade, that is your Turbo Man. A Turbo Man. And the one that's sitting on store shelves that you're going to go and try to get Christmas Eve is Booster. That's your Series X. It's Booster. I want the PlayStation 5 Turbo Man. No, but we got plenty of boosters in stock. I don't want Booster. Well, you're never going to get Turbo Man. They're flying off the shelves. Like, this is the situation. Because there is no need for the booster. You don't need the Series X. You're content on what you're on. And if you're happy, you're happy. That's fine. That's your opinion. This is my opinion. But if I really am to believe that people want Xbox to be competitive and Xbox to be something better, then these excuses don't make them better. These excuses make them actually less relevant. It makes it say, well, why do you even need a console? I'll just stay with my Xbox X. I'll go get a PlayStation 5 because there's new experiences on there. Even the controller design. Who said they're going to be bold? Phil did, right? Then why the hell does his thing look like a goddamn coffin? And PlayStation looks slick as hell. It looks premium. People think it's going to be more money just because of the way it looks. That's marketing. That's getting that's like, yo, that thing's, and then if Sony comes out and says, hey, it's $400, they're gonna have another E3 moment. Thank you, JCat. Wow, 49 watching, guys. This is amazing. Thank you again. I didn't even know. I'm not even checking it. I'm staring at Gordon Ramsay right here. But I'm saying, like, when you have that product and it's like, yo, that looks slick. It's a quadruple A stream. That's right. Quadruple A stream. We got more people than the initiative. Amazing. Let's go make a game, guys. Let's go make a game. But, like, that's the thing. And that's how they won that E3 back then. Like, they made people go, what? This is insane. Look at these games. PlayStation 4. It's all the stuff I want to hear. It's all the stuff I want to see. And then they came out and said $399, and people went crazy. Yes, I saw that. Hyro, I saw that. BitCloud with that thing on Target for $399. I don't know. It says 2 gigabytes. So that's why I'm a little like, because they did specify about the SSD. I don't know how you get $400 for $400 for a 2 gigabyte SSD. I don't know. But what I'm saying is I think it's gonna be $5 and $450. But or Sony can come in at $4 and $350. Oh my god, imagine that. But the thing is that when you look at value with the content, the sleekness of it, it looks expensive. And everybody likes champagne taste on a beer budget, right? If you could drop that, if you say $500 for the coffin box or $500 for the PlayStation 5, just by looking at it and looking at the controller. Uh-oh. Oko says, check Triple H's Twitter. Uh-oh. Head Hunter Hurst Helmsley. Head Helman Hurst. What is it? Hurst? Let me see. Hey, let's see. Helman Hunts Hursley. Hey, what the hell is it? Do I even follow him? Herman. I keep calling him Hellman. Like the friggin' mayonnaise. There we go. Let's see. And I'll tell you, I don't like executives, but I do have to say something. Jim Ryan, you know what? I'm not a huge executive thing, but I'm going to say one thing, man. Jim Ryan and Herman Holtz look like they would take somebody out back and beat the shit out of them with a goddamn PlayStation 5. Like, they look like boss. Like Jim Ryan looks like that crazy drunk like boss. Like, y'all, we're here. And then he looks like the hitman. Yeah, he's like the muscle. And Jim Ryan's like the crazy old man that's just like, kill them all. Like these dudes look like this. then they got the friendly guy, the Credible Holst. Yeah, I didn't find them. Wait a second, people. Where is he? Oh my god. Thank you, Jemiah, for tweeting that out. Where's yo, what the hell? I don't follow him? See, I don't follow the executives. Yo, what did he say, Marco? The Rock. What did he say? What did Triple H say? He says we're not done. Okay, thank you. This has been like 20 minutes trying to find his ass on Twitter. They're not done. Jim Ryan said it too. Like, they're not done. That's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, the window. Woo, opportunities are open. The bug snacks. Oh my god, bug snacks. There it is. We're not done. But like, they both of them look like some crazy ass like movie studio guys. You know? I just think it's pretty funny. It's like he looks like a badass. Then like, where's Hunst? He's like, we do this, and he has like the freaking like a freaking accent. Where is he? He's like, we're going to kill them. But I tell you.
Artistic vision a lot better. It's got a ton of horsepower, which is very easy to unlock.
We're going to beat their ass.
A machine that's really easy to develop on. The PS5 will present a paradigm shift as to what players will come to expect from
He
the
definitely
game.
looks like he could
Will
beat
let us
somebody's
tell
ass.
stories, make
Tell you,
worlds,
kick your ass.
great gameplay that I think will
John
truly
Wick.
captivate the player and really surprise quite a
Like a
few
bull.
people. Please take a look
Like a
at this new
Jaeger.
franchise for World
We
War
got to kill
Studios
the
coming
Baba Yaga.
exclusively for PlayStation 5.
John Wick. Baba Yaga. and then it has the crazy boss.
Transformative.
They're
How
going
they
to
look,
kill
sound,
them.
and feel.
You get that, John Wick?
Enough from me.
Enough
We're
from
gonna have
me.
the games do our talking.
The games do the talking. Donkey! Donkey, where's the finesse? Well, come on. You gotta say, guys, you come here, the grind's content.
Partnering
Wait a
with
second.
Rockstar Games for many
Take
years.
a look, right? Wait a second. You gotta... Wait a second. Where's the finesse?
Right, welcome home. We'll show you how to make the most amazing burger. And for me, the secret of burger is in the blend. So we've got chuck, we've got the most amazing ground beef, a little bit of brisket. First things first, season it. Once you've seasoned them, combine them together. We're binding this together with a touch of egg. That sticks it together, and more importantly, try and get this done the day before. You get this done the day before, set them in the fridge so they stay nice and firm. That way they don't fall apart on the grill. Get that grill piping hot. Now, this is one of my most desired burgers, one of my favorite burgers. This is, for me, called the F-word burger, which is actually on sale at my burger restaurant at Planet Hollywood in Vegas. Now, season them. Let the meat relax a little bit. Don't take them out of the fridge ice cold, otherwise they'll be dry on the outside and raw in the middle. Grill, piping hot.
It's not like mine, my God.
This is a beautiful grapeseed oil.
He's still going. Tell us how to make those burgers.
Around the edge of the burger. You know, you can't season the burger after it's cooked, so make sure you roll.
That's right, Jim Ryan. We can't season the burger after it's cooked. You got to season it before.
Gently oil the burgers and then on. Find the hottest spot, which is normally 2/3 of the way up. Once you put a burger on the grill, the secret is to move it as less as possible. The more you move it, the more chance you've got of breaking the burger. And then look.
I didn't know the PlayStation thing was about making a burger. He's talking about grilling Microsoft's ass. That's what he's talking about right now. He's like, you gotta season that ass before I beat the shit out of
Turn
it.
those burgers, they don't stick. How many times have you stuck a burger
What the
on the
hell's
grill
this?
and wondered
What the
why
hell's
it's
this?
sticking? Nicely oiled, quick
What
simmer.
What the
Put
hell
that
is
lid
that?
down. Really cool.
It's somebody.
Now, alongside my burger, I'm gonna be
What the
toasting
hell is this
buns.
thing? What video
Why
is
do we toast
this?
the buns? We toast the buns because there's nothing worse than the soggy bun. How many times you have a burger and the bun is wet? If you toast that bun,
What the hell that was? It looked like
nice
some
and
ghost
crisp, and it
came out of
protects
the street.
the burger. So,
I don't.
salt, pepper, a little drizzle of oil. Lightly
I have no
toast
clue,
those
man. That was a Microsoft. Someone got their ass grilled.
buns. In, toast those buns. What goes
I don't
well
know what the
with
hell
burger?
that shit was.
Great cheese, tomato, lettuce, a little bit of mustard mayonnaise, and then
Oh
meat,
man,
which is
talking
there.
about grilling somebody's
Grill
ass and it's.
Peel the onion, slice them,
What's that?
lightly season them. A little bit
Oh
of
my
salt,
god, I don't
pepper.
know what the hell that was, but
Fresh grilled
that gave me a
onions on
chuckle.
burger.
That was Digital Foundry's video. That's
Easy to do, absolutely phenomenal.
okay. I got to turn off Gordon Ramsay. Where is he? I got to turn off.
Season them.
He's still seasoning the burger. Holy shit! There's some tips right there. I got to season that burger like 30 times. But that's those buns. You gotta toast those buns. It's like, before I come out and really beat that ass, I gotta season that Xbox Series X before I come out and beat the shit out of it. And then I'm gonna grill its ass. You see those grill marks on the top of that Series X? Yeah, we're gonna grill it. Toast those buns. He came out there. That's right. You're right. He does sound like he sounds like he does sound like what the hell is that guy? Drew McIntyre. Going to kill you. That's what happened to Phil after the show. Phil got his ass grilled. He's like, damn. He goes, fire everything. We need to have an amazing show. Get Greenberg a goddamn camera. Stop using that Surface webcam. Oh man. That was some good chuckles. Oh, You're talking about grilling, and then I think I didn't even watch that part of the digital video. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's like a ghost. Cook 'em well done, man. He's like, you gotta. That's what I called it. So really, to end this thing on basically the reveal, the PlayStation 5 event basically was the seasoning. Seasoned the shit out of Next Generation. Slapped them on the burger, and now it's grilling. And Phil Ness and friends are going to have to now come back. They're going to have to show you why they bought these studios, what these studios are making. And I think the damage control is already showing with people saying about Bugsnax, like, you can't comment on cartoon games anymore, because I do think they fear that Microsoft's going to be dropping some cartoony-looking games from their first party. Definitely Double Fine, I'm sure. But, like, they're going to be dropping some hokey-dokey shit, and they don't want people coming at them going like, oh, look, Microsoft. You got to remember, though, there's different types of cartoon-looking games. Like Ratchet and Clank, that shit looks legit. Grounded? Ugh. By the way, you could download Grounded already, and then you need to tell them how to make the story for it. So enjoy doing that. You know, Xbox puts you to work. Yeah, exactly. PlayStation has blue lights, and Xbox has green paint on their grill. Everybody thought it was a green LED. It's not. But man, yo, let's get up to 40 likes or so before we get out of here, guys. I want to thank you again for tuning in on this Saturday brunch. I just wanted to get some things out because I was listening to some shows, enjoying my coffee, and that's cold now. But yeah, that Volcano High, like, what the hell was that? But anyway, you can get rid of it. You show Horizon 2 and you show Ratchet and Clank, you can show me Volcano High. I'm not going to get on your case. But if you show me Volcano High and Volcano High 2 and Volcano High the sequel, the prequel, that's the difference. And then in between that, I get Major Nelson with white gloves on, and then I get some, the girls that are running around and hyping up some bullshit on Game Pass. And then you show me Volcano High 3, and some passion projects. That's the problem. All right? Put it in context. And you know what the problem is. You've been seeing these Inside Xboxes. A lot of people don't even tune into them anymore. They've been so pathetic. So, but hey, I provide some entertainment, some fun, some discussion on the Saturday. Probably might do a show back on Monday afternoon, guys. We'll see how it goes. If anything grinds my gears, but you know where to find me. Hit that subscribe button. Those likes are going up. Thank you again. And yeah, hit the notifications because I might do these kind of lives, grinds at night or something like that. Because whenever something just kind of I builds up and I'm like, I just want to talk about something, I just hit that record button. And you guys, incredible, show up and like and share out the video. And thank you again. Yeah, exactly, Mog. They had something for everybody, and they sold me on a PlayStation 5 if I wasn't sold already based on the content they've been delivering for the PlayStation 4. Now Microsoft has to do the same thing. They had a year and a half to talk about it and really didn't do a very effective job, and people were disappointed with Next Gen after that showcase, so they put the ball in their court, and now they're going to do it amongst the noise of Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and more PlayStation 5 news. and potential Horizon 2 gameplay coming out, I'm sure, in the next coming months. And timed exclusives and console exclusives. Microsoft just put themselves in the storm right now to try to relay information about their first party when they had the stage to themselves and could have started building that hype, and they didn't. And now the dog's out of the cage, and Microsoft has to, try to get through that. So they're gonna platinum. That's right. 66 is the new 96. Hey, thank you very much, Malako. Thank you very much. But anyway, guys, again, have a great weekend. Stay safe. And until that, I am Ghost. Thank you again.